So one of my hobbies is acting. I have a lot of hobbies. I like to write, I like to sing, I play tennis, I blog, I do video blogs like this, but one of the things I love to do is act, and I have acted since I was a little kid. It was never a full-time thing for me, but I did do it in high school and some in college. And as an adult, about 8 years ago, my kids got involved with acting. With a talent agency, and I approached the talent agency and asked them if they needed any dad type characters or adult male type characters, and they took me in, and I started auditioning and doing commercials. I've done a couple of had real small parts in a couple of short films. I've done some spokesman type jobs. Anyway, I love it. I really enjoyed it, and recently I had an opportunity to do a horror film. And in this horror film, it was just a 30-second spot, and it was with a director that I worked with before several years ago, and he remembered me and asked me to be in his film. And sometimes I get people saying, hey, you look like such and such, Bruce Campbell, or something like that. Who does a lot of B-movie horror flicks and things like that. And so I take that as a compliment. Well, the other day I went and I was doing this horror thing, and I had to play a pest control employee that was helping an old lady get a pest, a squirrel or a raccoon out of her attic. And we did the first scene. It was no problem. Handled that fine, but then it took them a long time to get the attic set up. It took them an hour and a half for them to get all their camera equipment up there and situated the way that they like it. And I was just kind of waiting down in a cool family room, just chilling out, waiting for my time to go up to do the part. And I thought it was an attic that would, give me room where I could walk around in it, like an attic you might see in an old creepy movie. But this attic was a little different. As soon as I went up the ladder, all it was is basically a crawl space. And I had to crawl across beams on these little planks. And I couldn't even really crawl very well. I had to kind of pull myself through. And when I did that, the room, it had been cool downstairs, but once I got up into the attic, it was like over 100 degrees, and it was just stifling. And I couldn't even hardly breathe in there. It was such a drastic thing. And I got in there to my position, and I had these heavy clothes on. I had these gloves on, like a pest control guy would have on. And I got in there, and I felt like the ceiling was closing in on me, like I couldn't breathe. And I started to get kind of a panic feeling. And I just, I have some asthma, and I'm real sensitive sometimes if I can't breathe well. And so I started kind of panicking. And I said, guys, I don't think I can do this. And I started backing out. I started crawling back out of the space there. And I'm like, I didn't know that I was, getting into this thing. And I started crawling back down and out of the attic. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry we didn't tell you it was going to be like this. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? Here I am. I'm kind of the featured person in this little short film. And I can't even do the part. And so I felt really, really bad. And I walked around a little bit downstairs again, and I kind of got myself back up, and I said, man, I have got to be able to do this. I just feel terrible that, here they've gone to all this trouble and all this expense and setting up this equipment and getting this equipment there, and now the person that they have can't even do it. I felt terrible. So I said a little prayer, to be honest. And I said, Heavenly Father, please help me get past this thing. uh, it's not rational that I'm having this kind of thing. It is creepy, and it is, very confined, and it is extremely hot, but I've got to be able to do this. And so I went back up the ladder, and I just kind of stayed at the top of the ladder where I could look down and I could see the safety and the cool air breeze coming up through the ceiling and feel it. And I also could look in and see everything set up and talk to the director and the camera people and the sound person. And, we sat there and talked for about 5 minutes, and slowly I was able to kind of acclimate myself to the environment there. And I said, okay, guys, I think I can do it. So I went ahead, I crawled back in, got my gloves back on, got the equipment that they wanted me to have, and I was okay. I was able to handle the situation, and we did several takes, several shots, and I'm waiting to see how they came out, but some of the pictures I saw looked really good. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun shooting this little short film. But at the beginning, I was kind of terrified. And I thought, you know what? There's got to be a life lesson in this somewhere about fear. And all of us have fear. All of us have things that freak us out. And we have fear of failure. We have fear of rejection. We have all kinds of fear that we won't be able to perform to our capabilities, that we'll fail in a job or a business, we'll fail at a relationship. That fear can be frightening. It can make us freeze, and it can stop our progression. And you know what? We can't give in to fear. We have got to step back, take a breath, think about what we're doing, and then ask Heavenly Father, ask God to help us to overcome that fear. And then we have to go ahead and take the first steps to go ahead and move forward. The scriptures say that perfect love casteth out fear. It's both in the Bible and in the Book of Mormon. There are scriptures that say perfect love casteth out fear. And I believe that. Just like I was trying to film that scene that freaked me out, I said a prayer, exercised a little faith, and I was able to get back up and get in there. Whatever your fear is, you can't let it rule you. You cannot let it stop you. If you do, you only stop yourself in your progression. And the key to overcoming fear is love. And if you don't have love, pray for it. Ask God to grant you His love. And I promise you, He will answer you, and He'll increase the love that you have for Him. He'll increase the love that you have for others. And any situation that you fear, or any situation that you think you can't handle, you will be able to handle, because you are not alone. And you'll be able to walk through and go through all the hard difficulties of life. And that is my message for you today. And I hope you have a great evening. Take care.